So I want to talk about the one thing that's had the biggest impact in my life. And this was something I started doing 4 years ago. Some of you might be guessing as to what it is. And I'll just go ahead and tell you straight away here. But don't tune out as soon as I tell you. Listen to why it is. So the thing that changed my life 4 years ago when I started doing was actually reading books. Now, I absolutely hate reading books as far as reading text goes. But when I discovered that you can listen to books through Audible instead of actually reading the text, which kind of drives me nuts. There are some people that learn better through reading text, and then some people that learn better through like YouTube videos. I love learning through YouTube videos as well. And also that also means that you're probably good with absorbing information when you listen. So I downloaded Audible and I started listening to books, which is also called reading books. They phrase it the same way. And this one thing literally changed my entire life. It changed my entire perception on the world. It changed the way I do things in my everyday life. I picked up so many great habits that I start doing every day. And most of the videos that I make in the future are basically going to be things that I've learned from these incredible books that I've read. So just imagine, like, you can read a book. Let's say the topics I read about, I don't read about like I don't read fairy tale or 50 Shades of Grey or anything crazy like that. I'm talking specifically about business books, psychology books, philosophy books, and self-development books. So this genre of books is what I'm specifically talking about here. And through reading these books, you begin to expand your mind in such a way that you didn't really know possible. Like, you don't know what you don't know. Okay, so if you're sitting there, like some people are saying, I don't need any books, like I know everything, like I know what I need to know. You don't know what you don't know. So a lot of the videos that I'm going to be producing on this channel are going to be things that I've learned through these books. Also some just specific book reviews, but also just concepts that I've learned through the books that I've implemented in my own life. And there's a quote in one of these books which is awesome. It says something like, if you learn for knowledge, then you're a fool. But if you learn to take action, then you will be wealthy. So you don't want to really just read these books passively. You want to read them and absorb the information. So if you're not somebody that can absorb text that well, like if you read text and it doesn't really stick with you, or like you get brain cramps, you really just don't like it, try Audible. It's just, you put the headphones in, you listen. I listen to books about an hour and a half to 2 hours every single morning. While I'm like, as soon as I get up, I plug it in my ear, I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, while I'm downstairs making breakfast, as I go to the gym. So it's like, it's so much better than reading text, because when you're reading text, you have to devote a certain amount of time to actually sit down and read that text. Whereas to Audible, you can listen to it in your bathroom while you're getting ready. You can listen to it at the gym. You can listen to it like while you're waiting at the dentist appointment. You can listen to it on the train, in the car. You can listen to it while doing other things, so you don't have to necessarily carve out specific amounts of time for reading. You can read while you're doing things. And I suggest, what I do is I take very specific notes on the important things when I'm reading the books, things that I want to remember and capture and implement into my life. And I write the notes down somewhere, and I revisit those notes every single month. So I kind of spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes going through all the notes of all my books and just kind of refreshing my mind and conditioning my mind for these things that I've learned, and making sure that I'm implementing those things into my life. Because if you're not making sure you're implementing the things, you're probably just going to be wasting your time. Also, if you read the books and you don't take any notes and you don't revisit those notes, You're probably gonna forget about what you learned unless it's something like super, super impactful that you keep on the forefront of your mind all the time. But I highly suggest writing it down, or if you're not gonna write it down, make a video about it, do something to document it so that you can refer back to it and remember, because otherwise it's gonna be inevitable. Like you're gonna forget the information at one point or another if you're not constantly reminding your brain of it. So I constantly remind my brain of the things that I'm learning that I think are going to be very important in my life. And like anybody who has started reading books or is kind of skeptical, even if you're skeptical about this and you have some questions as to why is it changing my life, there's another quote that's awesome. It says, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So let that soak in for a little bit. So through these books, the biggest thing, even beyond all the incredible practical knowledge that I've gained, it would take me like 50 hours probably just to try to explain every single concept and thing that I've learned through the books that I've read. But eventually what happens is your brain begins to change and you begin to perceive the world in a whole different light, and it's a much better light because you understand human emotions better, you understand psychology better, you understand other people better, you understand business better. Like all these things begin to happen, and there's subtle changes at first. Like you won't, like, maybe you might not even notice them. But then as time goes, you're just like, God, like this is amazing. Now, like when I said I hate reading, I meant I hate reading text. I absolutely love listening to audiobooks, and that's why I do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours per day. And I recommend you don't have to do it that long. You can start with 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever you feel comfortable with, start with that, but it's better than not reading. And also remember not to do it passively. Make sure you're super zoned in and focused when you're reading these books. Make sure you're absorbing the information in the right way, and take those notes, revisit those notes. So I'll be doing book reviews in the future, and if you guys have a certain book or any other questions about books or anything of that nature, just drop it in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys might have. But I think that's all for now.